Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one. It's a big box. It's not a big box. It's a, yeah, actually, you know what? It is a big box. It's a good size box because it's 7 inches tall, 1.5 inches that way and 2.25 inches that way. And in metric, 17.5 centimetres by 4 centimetres by 5.5. And it's got a little magnet closure on the top, little flaps there. Oodles of room for loads of goodies. But there you go, look at it on my grid paper. I've got my grid paper set up so you can see the whole sheet. Look at the size of that. It's a good size box. 1 sheet of cardstock, that's all you need. Now, I will say this at the beginning so I remember, if you're giving this to children, don't put magnets, use maybe Velcro dots or a different form of closure because magnets are not safe with smallies. So, let me show you how to make it. It uses a piece of cardstock that is 8 by 11 inches. I work in this size because I know that those of you in North America, your cardstock is no more than 11 inches. And I know you work in 8.5, but we work in 8.25 as our widest here in the UK. So I figured 8 by 11 is a great size to work with. So that is 20 by 28 centimetres. And on the long side, we're going to score the long side first. You're going to score it at 1.5 inches, 8.5, and 10. And in metric, that is 4, 21.5 and 25.5. All of the instructions are written on my blog, or rather all of the dimensions are written on the blog, and the link to the blog in the description bar below. Okay, so don't write anything down, and I'm not writing on the screen because there would be no room, you'd see nothing going on. So on the short side, we're going to score it at 1.5, 3 3/4, 5 1/4, and 7.5 inches. And again in metric, that's 4, 9.5, 13.5 and 19 centimetres. So we're going to burnish all these score lines, and I'll bring back my original, and I'm using the DSP background paper stacks. I know we are rapidly approaching the end of May, which means that there is a new catalogue coming out very, very soon. So hopefully everybody who has already shopped with me has got their copy now. I'm trying to work out what day of the week this is going to come out live to you on. Hopefully. If not, ping me an email and say, can I have one please? But I am still working only with current stuff. I don't believe in sharing too much too early. And so I've got the background stacks on here, and this is Perfect Plum and I love it. And I love the background stacks. I don't use them nearly as much as I probably ought to, but they are lush and they are gorgeous. So, okay, so this is my cardstock. And so I've got a top which has got a thin, a medium, and then I've got a bottom which has just got the 1 score line. So the first thing we need to do is cut away the skinny rectangle that's there, and then cut straight up these score lines here. And this one. And this one here, and then I'm going to open out the lid of the box, partly to remind myself but also to show you which bits we're cutting off and what we're creating. So that is the box there. So that is actually that bit there, that one is that section, and that tag there is this one over here. So we need to get rid of some parts. Let me grab a pencil. So we're going to get rid of that one, and that one, but also that one, and both of those parts there. Does that make sense? So that's that part, that's that one, and that's that one there. So if I hover that for a second, so you can have a look, and then I will cut it and then I will show you as well. And oh, magnets are stuck to the scissors. They normally live on my ribbon racks. I've got, I have bathroom caddies actually as my ribbon racks because I'm at my crafting desk, I film where I work, and I've got windows. I've got a huge great big picture window there, and I've got I've got 3 ribbon racks, or 3 bathroom caddy racks, the ones that have got suckers on the back, and you stick them to the wall in your shower. So I stick them to the window and put my ribbons in them. And I hang bits off them as well, so I've got these little cup doodahs from IKEA, and these hang off them as well. And my magnets stick on them as well, because then I don't lose them. Because I would otherwise. I used to have them sticking to my lamps when I used to have lamps sat around my desk. And then I changed the way my desk was set up, and so I didn't need the lamps anymore. And I was like, what am I going to do with these? What am I going to do with my magnets? And so I stuck them to the racks. Okay. Oh. There we go. So we're going to hold on to these bits because we're going to use them in a minute. So these are the bits that I've just cut away, and we're going to hang on to those. So that is what you're left with. So this is I'll show you the bottom first. The bottom looks like any of my other boxes. So they're all loose now, and the bit just cut away. And then the top looks like that. So I just hover that for a second. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to round these corners at the top. And I'm going to put my DSP panels on. So, like I say, this was Perfect Plum, which is such a pretty colour, and I love it. But this is Wisteria Wonder. So I've gone with the background stacks. But I've used them so much. I mean, it's taken me a year to get through the subtles, the whole subtles pack. But I haven't got any of the stripes, so I decided I was going to go with spots. I didn't want the wording. Apart from anything, my sheet wasn't big enough for me to be able to get my wording that way around. But I like the spots. We're going spots and stripes. So these pieces, they are 6 3/4 in length, or 17 centimetres in length. The two little ones are 1 1/4 inch wide, 3.5 centimetres wide, and these ones are 2 inches wide, so 5 centimetres. Now I will show you, on my first one I cut it 1/4 inch short, but it's okay, it's hidden, nobody knows. Okay, so we'll get these stuck on before I put the box together. So put snail all over them. It's very noisy, this snail, isn't it? And you get just a nice little bit of a border around. Oh, wrong one nearly. And then the final one. Okay, so I'm going to run some fast fuse down this section here. And then this is the back. So fold your sides in and the back down, and you're left with the front, which we're going to roll up. And then these parts will fold over. Now you could slide it in there, but you would need to trim off a little bit. But I actually quite like it on the outside. Don't ask me why, I just do. So I have got the magnets, which we've already seen, and these are neodymium magnets. I use a lovely lady called Donna, who is on eBay as spider magnets, and she sells these globally, all over the world. They come within about 24 hours in the UK. I know that they've made it to folk in Australia in about a week, and America is about the same time, and they are very, very cheap. And these are 8mm wide by 1mm deep, and they are super strong, super duper strong, and I love them. And they're thin. So that's perfect for me, for my project. I've got one of the little scraps here, and I've got my 1/2 inch circle punch. So I'm going to punch 2 circles out of this little scrap. And the order in which to place these and the cardstock, because you kind of, because they're so strong, you want to take some of the strength out. So let me find a paper piercer. Okay, so mini glue dot onto the back of your first magnet and position it on, but not right up at the edge, because that's only 8mm wide and this is bigger, basically. Another glue dot onto your little circle over the top of that. Oh look, typically I had to, let me just flip that the other way around. Onto there, grab your other magnet, let it stick down, so A, you know you've got the positive and negative the right way round, but also you're going to get perfect positioning now. So glue dot onto there, close up your box and just gently push it on and gently pull apart. So your magnet is now in position, so I'm going to squeeze really hard to make sure that's well and truly stuck down. And then your final punched out circle over the top of that. And again, I'm going to push really hard to make sure it's well and truly stuck. And that is my box now closing, but with some of the strength taken out of it, which is exactly what I wanted. Okay, let's do a little bit more work. So I've got a piece of Whisper White. I had a piece of Whisper White. Where's it gone? I'll have to use this other scrap here. So I've got this one here, and I've got a stamp set. It's taken me a year to discover this. I've had it for a year. I've not had it prepped, and I love it. Me equals grateful. So they are dual. You would put the two things together. So this one here, thanks for being you. Always kind, always giving, always there. Or you might even want to put it with that one. So thank you for seeing me through some dark days and brightening the rest. So that's a pair that goes together. You equals awesome, me equals grateful. Yum, need I say more? Oh yes, thank you. So you can see they are pairing together, but I like to use them on their own. And I think they're gorgeous. The font is stunning. Seriously, I can't believe it's taken me a year to realise just how beautiful it is. Thank you, retirement list, for that. So I'm taking this one down here. Thanks for being you. I'm not adding the extra bit. I think that's enough. Is that the right one? That is the right one. Okay, and which block have I got for this one? This is my C block, so one of the most popular ones, or one of the most versatile ones, I should say. Wisteria Wonder ink onto there, and I've got a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and I want a bit more gap at the top. Okay, and then I've got some glimmer paper, and I decided that when I did the original one that I didn't like it just sitting over the silver, and obviously in this case dazzling diamonds, sorry, 2-inch circle punch. When I hovered it, I thought, oh, it needs something else, it needs something more. So this little panel is actually that bit. So this is where I've cut off from the top. So I'm going to hack it off there, and I'm just going to trim off one of these little knobbly ends. I'm so frugal. I'm going to keep that. I'm just going to round, oh, that's not my corner rounder. That would be the corner rounder. And it's kind of, it's there for no other reason than it's a bit of extra colour. Originally I used, this is actually the strip that comes off the bottom of the cardstock when I cut it down to size. And it looked a bit like a London Underground sign. I didn't like it. I just thought, no, that's just no good. So I prefer this because it's just a little bit of colour for nothing else other than it's a bit of colour. So we can go with that, can't we? So onto the, I've got to make sure it lines up now. So onto there, push that down. I'm going to have a whole scattering of dimensionals on there. Glimmer paper, beautiful as it is, requires a bit more oomph to the adhesive. You can't snail anything to it. Because obviously it's gritty, I suppose is the best word I can describe. It's not a flat surface, so you can't snail something to it. So you'd have to use liquid glue, or in my case, because I'm terribly impatient, dimensionals. So that over there. This is another one of my leftover bits. Petite Petals punch. Great guy boxes, by the way. You obviously wouldn't want to put flowers on necessarily. But yeah, good boxes for guys, for gifts for them. And then some rhinestones. We'll take a biggie in the middle of this one. Actually, I need to stick this on, so only putting snail onto the circle. Oh, the paper piece has just landed in my lap. Ow, and I've grabbed it. It caught my thumb. And that was not sensible. You maybe put stars or something if it was on for a chap, or if it was for, you know, a loved one or a spouse or a boyfriend or something. You could put hearts on. And then we'll have a little scattering of 3 crystals on there. And that is a great size box. with a little magnet closure. And you could put any colourway you fancy. You know, if you've got a daughter or a granddaughter or niece who's very into her pink, you could do a pink, you know, collection of them, something like that. But I love it. I love the size box. I like the closure, and I like the fact that I've added just a little bit of extra colour for fun factor, if nothing else. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye.